as I mentioned before, our next speaker is Dromm, a council member from Queens who is also supporting this effort, and as I mentioned, a former New York City school teacher.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you for pulling this together. Thank you, Senator Dromm, and to all of the other advocates and activists who are here with us today. You know, I was a New York City public school teacher for 25 years, and it's hard to believe when I talk to LGBT youth that they don't have any sense of LGBT history. And one of the things that I have done to try to correct that situation is I've introduced a resolution in the council to ask state legislators to move forward with an LGBT curriculum. And in the course of introducing that, I showed a film in Queens about the life of Bayard Rustin. And I asked a young black man to introduce that film. And unbelievably, he had no idea who Bayard Rustin was, nor did he know that he was gay. And that's the fault of many people. But I want to talk more specifically about this house behind us, and what this house could be, and what it represents to those of us in the LGBT community. When I was 17 years old, I came from Long Island to this area, mostly to the firehouse that was not specifically here, but the firehouse was on Worcester Street, not too far from here. And this neighborhood represented to me as a young Long Islander at 17, the gay rights movement. And it was Arnie Kantrowitz, and it was Bruce Fowler, and it was Jim Alls who were the leaders, and Alan Roscoe, another one, and Morty Manfred, another one, who were all involved in that. And I feel very fortunate to know some of those people, or to have known some of those people. But most people in the LGBT movement don't really even know anymore who they are. That's why we must preserve this building for our history. We must have this here for future generations. And the contributions of the people who lived in this building were not minor contributions. They were major, groundbreaking, earth-shattering, history-making contributions. They were the ones who determined and moved forward the idea of gay liberation. Liberation was a word, and as Senator Dwayne spoke about, the use of lesbian and gay and lesbian, which would go first, which would go second, was a whole issue that was decided right here in these surrounding areas. So, and it's still deciding, it's still growing. But without a physical place to take you to, and by the way, our LGBT youth need and deserve LGBT role models. We don't have that. They need to have places that they can identify, that they can say, oh, this is where it began. It happened here on these streets. I wonder why it happened on these streets. I wonder what was the reason why this area was selected. By the way, as Andrew said before, this area was not, those days, in the 70s, like it is now. And we don't want to lose that. And it's because of those changes that we're afraid to lose. So I've come from Queens to make sure that this area